JD, I play this music when I live stream because it's royalty free because I have access to it. I can legally play this during a live stream without getting a flag for a trademark violation. Can we move you over just a little? It's kind of dark in here too.
It is dark.
Would one of you go over there and turn up the TV, the light to the right of the TV? Just tap it. It's very delicate. Yeah, your finger, you're right there. Yeah, that's it right there. Just tap that. Give me a couple of those. That's good. Now we can see JD. Fantastic. Hi, everybody. I'm Kenny Webster, and we are live on KPRC Radio, but we are also live streaming on the internet right now with my strength training coaches here, JD from Starting Strength Houston. And
what's up, guys?
When I tell people that I lift, sometimes they don't believe me. But then I point to you. I'm like, this is the guy I lift with. They're like, oh, yeah, that guy definitely lifts. There's no doubt about that. JD, you are a professional strength training coach, a business entrepreneur. You are a Christian. You were recently baptized. You are a father of many children, some of whom are in the studio right now. Can we see them on camera?
They
no,
are.
These cameras aren't even set up right. No, we can't see them on it. The cameras are all pointing down at the ground, unfortunately. But there are children in the room with us.
Yep.
So we're going to be a little more careful than we usually are about what we say. Not a lot, but just a little bit. Not because generally what we say isn't that provocative. No, there's a news story today. You are a health and fitness guru. That's what you do. You train people. You understand muscular strength. And right now, RFK Jr. is all over the news giving people health advice. And it's kind of controversial. Liberals are very mad at RFK Jr. for some of the things he's saying. And I am not sure why, because when you read what he's actually interested in, this sounds like stuff that the left would be interested in. RFK Jr. will cut prescription drugs and increase access to marijuana and psychedelics. Doesn't that sound like something liberals would have wanted?
Exactly. It absolutely does.
So why are they mad? Because Orange Man evil, Red Hat bad? Is that it?
I don't know. Maybe it's taking them out of the loop, and now they can't make money off of it. I don't know.
I don't know either. Have you been to a farmer's market in the Houston area recently?
Not recently. No, it's been a while.
What
am I missing?
Something really interesting happened over the past few years. Our district attorney is Kim Ogg, and she doesn't prosecute people for that. So now when you go to the farmer's market, they're selling that there, which is weird because I thought the farmer's market was where you go to get like kombucha tea and stuff like that. Yeah. I did not know it was like
organic cucumbers. So they're selling weed at the farmer's markets?
Apparently they are, and mushrooms. and not I will tell you this, kids, when people talk about holistic medicine, I always assumed that meant like milk of magnesia or whatever it is. Like, you know what I mean?
Herbal tea.
Right.
Curing cancer with herbal tea.
Right, exactly. I didn't think that they just meant like the kind of thing you buy in a parking lot at the Grateful Dead concert. How did we go from one thing to the other so quickly, JD?
I don't know. It's got to be whiplash, maybe. I mean, we're going from one from one extreme to the other, but I don't know about you, but I'm excited to see what changes come up.
Me too. Look, I will say this. All jokes aside, it shouldn't be controversial to suggest the food we're eating, the drugs we're consuming contain things we don't understand.
Yep.
And we don't often know what the long-term consequences are of eating this stuff. I do know that when you look at Americans today, have you ever seen a photo or a video of what Galveston, Texas looked like back in the 60s or the 70s?
No.
It's like a bunch of people at the beach in the 70s. You can look this up online. They're just Galveston in the 60s. And then it's a photo of all these skinny people walking around. Well, why are they so much skinnier? Okay, probably a couple reasons. Number one, they were smoking. That's probably part of it, right? But then on the other hand, they're also eating very different food than us. Their food back then, even if it was unhealthy food, it just had sugar in it. It didn't contain all this corn syrup and stuff like that. You don't know, yeah. Well, we don't know. Well, that's the thing. Don't feel bad, JD. No one knows what's in the food. That's why this is so confusing to people. We've got 20 different kinds of cancers that didn't exist 30 years ago, and now we have all this stuff.
60 years with the processed food Yeah,
and we didn't know what the long-term consequences are. What's interesting about you, JD, is Starting Strength, which was created by Mark Rippetoe, one of the most controversial health and fitness gurus in America, and you're one of the guys that runs his company. You own the
gyms in Houston, yeah.
You own the gyms in Houston and essentially run the brand for him in this part of the country. It shouldn't be controversial at all, and yet it is. The only thing that makes it controversial is you guys tell people, eat food and lift weights.
That's absolutely correct.
And nowadays, in this day and age where we tell people to starve themselves and inject themselves with drugs and all, That and eat food, eat bread, eat meat, eat cheese, lift weights. That's essentially the gist of this fitness program, right?
That's the gist of it. I mean, most people are actually under eating in general overall, but what they are eating is absolute crap. And then you know, we've gotten away from hard work, and so that's replaced by strength training.
Right. I've made a list of some of the stuff I've learned since joining your gym, and I didn't bookmark it, so let me see if I could just find it real quick. Okay, here we go. Fitness is 90% mental, 10% physical. It's a lot about up here, the physical, the actual body. That's actually, people all think, oh, it's just, no, it's actually a lot about in your brain. When I tell myself I can't lift 300 pounds when I'm doing the rack pull, I can't lift it. But if I don't actually think about how much it weighs, I don't have any problem lifting it. Why is that?
I think people get in their heads about what there is to do, and the way you get stronger is you add a little bit every time, and so it has to go up and it has to get heavy, and so you're gonna be faced with these mental challenges, and nowadays, a lot of people are hunched over a computer, and there's not much of a mental challenge in their days, and so this just progressively makes that easier.
Here's another one. I'm really proud of this one when I wrote this down, because I've always been obsessed with how fat I am. Like a lot of Americans, right? Carbs don't make you fat. Fats really don't make you fat. The thing that makes you fat is having too many calories. And if you're lifting weights all the time, there's really no such thing as too many calories.
I mean, you can get to too many calories, but too many calories when you're lifting weights is can be a lot more than what you're logistically able to consume.
Right. I see a lot of these people online talking about how to eat healthy this holiday season, right? How to make sure you don't gain 20 pounds this holiday season. I got to think the way to do that
is by lifting heavy.
Is by lifting heavy weights, right?
That's exactly right. I have a big sweet tooth. I have never met a candy bar that I did not like.
Sure.
And one of the reasons why I train the way I do is so that I can eat the stuff that I want to eat and not feel not worry about being a giant tub of lard. And so you can't out train a bad diet, right? That is going to have its consequences, but at the same time it does cover a lot of sins. It does help.
Right. Here's another one. I'm really proud of this. BMI is BS. We've convinced ourselves your body BMI. What is that? Body measurement. Body mass index. It's BS. There's plenty of people out there with a low BMI that are not healthy.
That are skinny fat.
And there's plenty of people with a high BMI that are very healthy.
Yep.
Most people don't get that.
Yep. My BMI puts me at obese, and I think at my heaviest, which it puts me squarely in the obese category.
What do you like?
And 6'3", 280, roughly 20% body fat.
What do you deadlift?
Middle 500s.
Middle 500.
560.
Okay. An unhealthy person can't lift 550 pounds. That would, that would be crazy, right? So if we're using BMI as a way to exclusively measure how healthy someone is, that's a lie then. It's like, all right, an unhealthy person can't lift 550 pounds.
What's even worse is medical professionals are using that to try to, target where people need to be in terms of giving people weight loss advice, and it's putting people in with goals that are extremely unhealthy, unhealthy low body weights to get to.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So people don't get it, and I think that's a really important one. I told myself this too: don't drink your calories. Cutting alcohol intake makes a big difference.
Yep.
That's a really important one.
Yep.
Here's another great one. If you're trying to lose weight and you're not losing weight, you're eating too much. If you're trying to gain weight and you're not gaining weight, you're not eating enough.
That's exactly right.
It's so simple, and yet that seems to confuse so many people.
Well, with the losing weight part, there's a lot. It's a lot more complex than that is than that. Unfortunately, people have been trying to lose weight for years, and unfortunately, it's not quite that simple. The best place to start though is with a strength training program that's going to help you build muscles, going to help to raise your base metabolic rate and burn the calories burn more calories that you would just sitting around.
All right. I recently had a good day at the gym, and you told me, hey, you're having a good day at the gym. And I told you, yeah, I did some pre-workout today, and you laughed at me. Like that was not why. But actually, the best pre-workout is getting a full night's sleep, getting some sun, eating some nutritious food. That's the best pre-workout, right?
Yes. Yeah. So that's exactly right. The best thing that you can do is to recover in between workouts so that you're ready for the next one. And so what I've noticed over the last not just few months, last several months, right? I've seen you come in and struggle with some weights. And then you know what it looks like is you've prioritized your diet, you've prioritized your lifestyle that's outside the gym, right? You've put on a few pounds that have facilitated you moving past those past whatever those weights were, and you know, now we're moving heavier weights even easier.
Yeah.
So that's really where the effect is.
I was overweight. And then I lost weight right when I started your program because I was doing a lot of cardio and lifting weights with you guys once or twice a week. At some point, I switched that. I quit doing tons of cardio. I still do cardio. I run about 3 miles a day, but I'm not running 6 or 9 miles a day. I eat more, but now I'm lifting more weights. And I'm gaining weight, but I feel like I look better. And that's the difference. That's not what you expect. Like, you don't expect to look better when you gain weight, but then being a guy is different from being a girl.
Well, I mean, so this is going to apply to both. But what you're doing is you're putting on muscle, right? You're putting on muscle. Muscle weighs more than fat. So even though you are heavier, right? The muscle looks the way it should look, and so your shoulders are wider. Your back's got the that V, right? Your neck is bigger, and so you look the way you should look, and so it looks better. It's the same with a woman, right? A woman's not going to put on a whole lot of weight, and she's not going to get bulky. She's going to get shapely where she should be shapely, and she's going to look like she should look.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. God is a big part of your fitness journey, right? That's huge. Yep, huge. Did you ever talk about that? Do you explain that to people?
I have before. It sounds kooky, so I guess I should not be ashamed of the gospel, or I should not be ashamed of my story. But
well, you grew up Catholic, but now you're more non-denominational Christian.
Yep.
That's fine. Whatever. Going to church is the most important thing.
Yep.
You got baptized recently. Why did you decide to do that?
Well, I had never gotten baptized, and baptism is a public, a public confirmation of your faith, and so I initially didn't want to. It was I had some hesitation. My pastor had talked to me about it, and I said, you know what, if I get up on that stage, I'm going to do something to make it about me, like tell a joke or something. And one of the men's ministry pastor at the church that I go to came up to me and said, well, if you're hesitant for doing it, right, you're worried about doing it because of you, then do it because you're called to be obedient and nothing else. And that was like a big, not stab in the heart, but that was the
wake up call.
That was convicting, right?
You realized
that's exactly right. And so, yeah.
If you're just turning on your radio, if you're just connecting with us, I'm Kenny Webster. I'm here right now with my strength training coach, JD from the Starting Strength in Houston. They got a location in Houston. They got a location in Katy, Texas. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Love America. Fear the government. Listen live. Listen now to Pursuit of Happiness Radio with Ken Webster Jr., producer Kenny.
Did I offend you when I
Hold that thought. We're live streaming right now. Were you about to ask me something, JD? What were you about to ask?
Well, I was going to ask you if I offended you whenever I laughed, whenever you mentioned pre-workout. I'm sorry, man.
No, it's okay. I thought it was an interesting question. I said that I thought I was having a good day at the gym because I took creatine and caffeine, and you were like, "That's not why you're having a good day at the gym." And I didn't know that. I
need to be careful with my reactions sometimes. Sometimes I'll offend whenever it's not intended.
Dude, you know me. I got pretty thick. No, that didn't. I actually think you're laughing at me saying that was a compliment.
Okay.
Because I was putting it all on some chemical I took before the gym, and you were like, "That's not why you're having a good day at the gym."
The work you were doing.
Hey, to those of you that are just getting connected to this video, I'm here with my buddy JD Shipley from Starting Strength in Houston. It's Shipley, not Shipley's. But you know what's funny about that? Just like the donut place, that's also Shipley. People say I'm eating a Shipley's donut. No, it's Shipley donut.
A Shipley donut?
It's singular.
Yep.
And how long have you owned that donut franchise?
Never.
If you're just getting,
I wish.
If you're just getting connected with us, hang on. JD's going to interview me about joining the program. But before we get to any of that, a quick reminder, you can go to ilovewj.com if you guys want to purchase holiday Christmas gifts. I'm wearing a Doge t-shirt, very sharp right now. It actually says, as the WJ logo on the back, it says Doge Field Agent. You guys could get some, and you want some. Stand by. Hold on. We're reconnecting right now. All right, we're back. That's how that works. Hi, everybody. Hi, I'm Kenny Webster, and I'm here right now with JD Shipley. No connection to the donut franchise.
None, unfortunately. Just name.
But it's okay to eat donuts and go to the gym. That's okay.
It is. It is. Just make sure that you get more meat than donuts.
It's important to have. That's another thing on my list. Eat your protein first. I was just reading my things I've learned about fitness from the last couple of years of working out at Starting Strength. And one of them is eat your protein first. Have protein with every meal. Eat your protein first, and you're less likely to overeat. If you eat carbs first, we do things in a weird way as Americans. First, we have soup, salad. Italians eat a bowl of pasta. Then they finally bring you a protein.
Yep.
That is probably not the order we should be eating in, is it?
No, protein's expensive.
Start with the chicken breast.
Yeah, protein is expensive, right? So go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, eat the chicken breast, eat the salad, then maybe a bowl of soup, then finally have some carbs. That would probably be, and then if you get full on that, great. You've already had all the good stuff first. But that's not the order we do things in.
Yeah, well, I think as far as the restaurant industry goes, and you know, this is speculation on my part, right? I don't know a whole lot about this, but I suspect because it's expensive, right? You know, fill up on the cheap stuff first, right, and then
breads,
and then get the piece of meat that that you pay for. It's not going to fill you up, but you're already full on other stuff. So
if you think about it, JD, that's actually a bad business model. If people come into your restaurant and you give everyone cheap bread to fill up on, and then you ask them to order entrees and stuff, they're less likely to order a second steak because they're all filled up on cheap bread that you gave them for free. That's a terrible business model.
Yeah, I never really thought of it that way.
Why would we do that? That'd be like if someone showed up to your gym and you have them work out across the street for free first, and then when you're done,
come on over. Well, that's the reason why I don't own a restaurant. So, you know, I don't know.
All right, we're going to do something on this radio show I have never done before. This has never happened. I've been doing this radio show now. This radio show has probably existed since 2014. No one's ever interviewed me before. I've interviewed a lot of people on this radio show. Ted Cruz and Jeff Landry and Ken Paxton.
Wheels about to come off.
Yeah, Charlie Daniels. We've had some big guests on this radio show over the years. I have never actually been interviewed. So you, J.D. Shipley, owner of Starting Strength Houston and Starting Strength Katy, you're going to ask me questions.
Yeah. I thought it'd be good for this segment for you to talk about what strength training has done for you. It's I guess instead of me getting into it, I'll just ask you, how did you get started with us?
Okay, so I wanted to take a strength training program, and I wanted to start lifting weights. I didn't know if I wanted to be in a program. I had this ski injury, right? And so for about a year, anytime it wasn't even a serious injury. It just lingered. Like, it would only bother me when I was sleeping on my left side. And I love sleeping on my left side. That's the best side for me. I don't know why. We all have a different. I like sleeping. So I couldn't do that. And 8-9 months into it, you actually met my buddy Rob Rees, who works here at the radio station. And Rob was like, this guy JD has a gym. He's looking for people in your line of work that might want to come train there and learn about fitness and maybe spread the gospel of Starting Strength. And when he asked me this question, I don't think he thought I would seriously say yes. But I was like, well, absolutely. It was actually something I wanted to go do.
Yep.
And it turned out to benefit me for so many unexpected reasons. The most important is I'm probably, as a 42-year-old man, in the best shape of my life.
Yep.
I'm probably healthier, stronger. My blood pressure, cholesterol, all that stuff is probably at a healthier level now than it was when I was 30 or probably even 25. I would wager, given my lifestyle of like staying awake for a long time, caffeine, consuming things I probably ought not consume, I'll just leave it at that. I probably had high blood pressure when I was in my 20s. Mm-hmm. And now in my 40s, I don't.
Yep.
And I don't think for most Americans that's how it works. So to me, I got it. That was how I got into it. And then immediately, it was probably a few months of being in the program before I realized how healthy it was making me. and I'll add this to that, not nearly as much work as I was expecting it to be. I thought I was going to have to work out like crazy all the time. And you don't. But then the funny thing about that is once you get into the program, you end up enjoying it so much. Now I do work out a lot. And I didn't really figure out I enjoyed doing that till I was 40, which I got to think is the opposite of what happens to most people. Most people probably get sick of doing this stuff as they get older. They don't want to lift weights as when they get older, and that's probably when you should be doing it.
That's exactly when you as you get older you lose muscle mass, you get less fit, and so it actually means the most to you. I want to go back to your shoulder injury.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about how, like, what that was like, what training with it was like, how long until things started feeling better. Just give us some more information on that.
Have you ever had a health problem where you knew something was wrong, but you didn't do anything about it?
Yeah.
That's what this was. Like, you're like, oh, it clicks when I go like this, or when I it's fine unless I run and then my ankle hurts. I bet there's a lot of people listening to us talk right now that has one of those things.
Sure.
It's fine as long as I don't lift my arm like this, or it's like, well, don't you want to just live your life? And so for me, I got used to having this pain. I mean, it wasn't even a serious injury. I was skiing. I fell down. Once you get about halfway through your life, JD, I went skateboarding this weekend, and I fell, and I haven't done that in 20 years. I fell down on my butt, and it hurts right now. It didn't used to hurt when I would fall down. I made a joke. I bought a skateboard this weekend, and I said, it's funny. When I was 15 years old, I could afford to fall down, but I couldn't afford to buy all this equipment. Now I can walk in here and any upgrade, we got these special ball bearings, the extender, the riser for the deck, trucks, whatever you want. Yeah, go ahead, throw it all in. He's like, it's an extra $30. That's an extra. I don't care. I can afford it. I can't afford to fall down. So to me, I had this ski injury. It was uncomfortable to lay on it. When I wanted to start taking the program, I asked my doctor. I was like, hey, I don't know, is this a good idea? She was like, honestly, it probably is. Why don't we do some x-rays? We did some x-rays. She said, there's nothing wrong with your in terms of bones or whatever. Sure. She's like, you're having a muscular issue. You had a sprain and it never quite fully healed. Mm-hmm. And so honestly, being in the program might be the best thing for you. Going into your gym probably twice a week, once or twice a week, after about a month, I forgot I had the injury. And then a couple months after that, it occurred to me, somebody was like, why'd you take the program? And I had to think about it. Oh, that's right. I had a ski injury. That's funny. The whole reason I took the program, I don't even think about that anymore. The problem just went away. Mm-hmm. And here we are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's fairly common. We have older members that come in with some level of back tweak or, back injury. That after 3-4 weeks of deadlifting, report the exact same thing.
Yeah, it feels great. It's just funny when you're unhealthy. Even if you're just a little, like I was just a little unhealthy. I would jog and run. I would do some light workout, ski in the winter. Get out on a nice day, go run around the parks. It's not like I was doing nothing.
Yep.
But I wasn't as healthy as I could be. And it's funny when you reach that point where you're just healthy. You're healthy. You're not healthy with an asterisk next to it or healthy except this one thing. It's funny how much that changes your life. And we didn't even get into the mental health stuff. I mean, you know this about me. I went through a divorce while I was in this program. And there was probably a few weeks there where I feel like going in and lifting weights was the only thing convincing me that life was worth it, was worth the trouble. You know what I mean?
Man, I was hesitant to do this because I wanted to talk about that, but I wasn't quite sure where you were on talking about this stuff. But since you bring it up,
yeah,
let's talk about it a little bit, because I think people don't realize the mental, like you mentioned, the mental aspect of strength training.
Yeah.
Right. So stronger is better. Right. But people think physical. People think they think physical, and that's all well and good. But people don't realize that the secondary benefit of getting stronger is actually one of the primary benefits. So tell us a little bit more about how did this help you work through what you were going through with your divorce?
It was two parts, right? You learn a lot about yourself when you're holding hundreds of pounds above your head. Yep. Now, granted, there's safety mechanisms in place, and it's not like if I drop it, I'm going to die. But there's still something very scary about that, of knowing that I I have more weight above me right now that I am holding up than my body. It's a greater amount of weight than what I am composed of, right? Like I weigh like 200 pounds, $195, and I'm lifting 350 pounds. So there's that, right? The fact that this is heavier, and that changes you. If you do that enough times, it changes you. You become not just a stronger person physically, but a more strong-willed person. You realize, what does Mark Ripito say? Often, whatever you think your limitations are, that's not, you're wrong. Your limitations go well beyond.
Seldom further, further than what you think they are.
The other thing I got from the gym was this. I have friends and I have family and I'm very close with all of them, but your friends and your family are emotionally connected to your marriage. They are. Well, they are.
They're vested in it, yeah.
And there were times when and so more often than not, if you tell them something's wrong in your life, they're going to try to take a neutral position on it, you know. And there were times at the gym when I would talk about what was going on with my personal life with just the couple people that were at the gym with me that day lifting weights. Friendly people, like-minded individuals, in no way at all emotionally connected to what my personal problems were in my life. And when I articulated it out loud, instead of giving me the answer they thought I wanted to hear, they gave me the answer I needed to hear. And that was a very sobering experience, but it also helped me figure out where I needed to be in life, what I needed to do, and how to get past the problems I was having. My life is better now. I am healthier. I am happier physically, mentally, and, you know, God was the biggest part of it, you know, obviously. The support system around me, my friends and all that. But I got to think right after those two things, the close third was starting Strength Houston, was lifting weights, my brothers of iron and steel. It changed my life. You know what I mean? And that,
thank you, man. So I would attribute that last part to I guess the culture that's curated at the gym. Right there, you know, it's not coming into the gym is about the coaching. Right? Yeah, it's about getting having somebody help you through you know whatever it is the program is for that day. But a lot of people at the gym would be fine training elsewhere, but they choose not to because of the community that's been developed. Right. So that, you know, it's not your meat market. It's not your, you know, mirrors with people flexing in them, or, you know, posing or stuff like that. It's right. That's big, JD. Normal, because people hate that. It's same here. It's not that kind of gym. Here. It's not the kind of gym where you see people in the mirror. There's no mirrors in your gym. That's the first thing that blows everyone. Well, why would there be a mirror? It would distract you. You're supposed to be focusing on the exercise. Your coach will tell you what to do. Hey, before we run out of time, there's a lot else to say about this, but I really want people to emphasize, you got stuff going on at Starting Strength Houston and Starting Strength Katy right now. We do. For the holidays. What's that? We do. We have, so we're doing the Gift of Strength leading into the holidays. So if you have a loved one that you know, you feel would, you know, this would be great for, then check out the website. You can Google us Starting Strength Houston or Starting Strength Katy, and you know, get some gift cards. Get some gift cards there. Okay, so if people are watching online and they don't live in the Houston area, they could still take a class with you guys. Yeah, that's it. You could do it online. Yep, we do online coaching as well. Like we have listeners in, you know, Carthage or. We have members outside the country. Yeah. Right. We've got in Europe, Asia, you know, all over the place. And then, of course, Starting Strength isn't everywhere in America, but it's all over Texas. It's all over Florida, Chicago, Memphis, Boston. What am I leaving out? Oh, my gosh. Denver's got one. Denver, Colorado Springs, Boise, Portland of all places. Cincinnati, Columbus, Birmingham is coming, Tampa, Miami, Orlando, Atlanta. I love that. Also Boston, all sorts of places. Miami, yeah, I love that. Well, hey, I'm Kenny Webster. I want to thank my guest, JD Shipley. Thanks so much for watching, everybody, or listening, obviously, to those of you listening to the radio. Hit the retweet button, hit the share button, and come lift weights with us at Starting Strength Houston. You won't regret it. It's one of the best things I ever did.
Listening to the Pursuit of Happiness Radio. Tell the government to kiss your ass when you listen to this show.